we spent a great deal of time trying to think, what story can we come up with that's going to take people back to a place that I think will allow them to have a good time, but at the same time it feels new and exciting and hopefully original. So we've come up with many new characters and many new dinosaurs, and we've brought Sam Neill back into the story from the original movie, which is great because I think many people will remember that Sam, Dr. Grant, was a character that had no intention of ever returning to this island, and here he finds himself back in the nightmare once again. So we knew that that was something that people would probably be interested in seeing. And then we have this fantastic additional group of people with Téa Leoni and Bill Macy and Alessandro Nivallo and Trevor Morgan. And I think we've put together an ensemble group where we've once again returned to the notion of civilians being on the island. When we got to the point of realizing that the first movie was such a success that there would be a lot of demand by the audience as well as the studio to consider doing another movie, Joe Johnston, who had worked with Stephen and I on a number of movies going back to Raiders of the Lost Ark up at ILM, he was a visual effects supervisor and then went on to become an art director, and then decided that he really desperately wanted to go off and direct live action movies. So he went to USC, studied, came back into the fold, and had directed several movies, including Jumanji, where he'd done a lot of effects. And he came to Stephen and said, if you ever consider doing a second Jurassic, could I do it? And Stephen said, Joe, I think I'm going to do the second one, but if I do a third, you're my first choice. So when we decided to do the third movie, Stephen immediately went to Joe. And needless to say, Joe was thrilled, and I think he's done a phenomenal job. We didn't start out thinking that we're going to have a new dinosaur in here and he's got to be bigger than the T-Rex. It turned out in our discussions with Jack Horner that by introducing our new villain, which is the Spinosaurus was, in fact, considerably bigger than the Tyrannosaurus Rex and considerably more vicious. I think, there's no question that I think all action-adventure movies today are enormously difficult because the audience expects a tremendous amount now, and in order to deliver that, you're asking people to really push the bar continually in what it is you're trying to do. It takes hundreds of people. It takes a massive amount of construction. You're often dealing with gigantic cranes and, equipment that are used to build bridges and highways and things like that. You're suddenly trying to mass together in an area, to hold up a Spinosaurus. And it's always amazing to me to stand there when everything has been pulled in and we're ready to shoot a shot and you realize what has gone in to actually putting it together. I remember standing next to one of our electricians. We were getting ready to shoot a shot, and he said to me, Kathy, do you know how much cable we have strung? And I said, no. And he said, 6 miles. Stephen was... First of all, he's thrilled that Joe wanted to step in and take on the challenge of the third movie. And he's been enormously generous to Joe. He's not protective of anything. If anything, we spent a lot of time looking at the other 2 movies, analyzing what it was that we were moving from story-wise. And Stephen spent a great deal of time working with Joe on the script and talking about characters and talking about where we were going with the third movie as a story idea. But he backed off quite significantly in terms of letting Joe really formulate the shape and the look of the movie. He wanted to empower Joe to make it his own. So although it very much relates to the other 2, it's also very definitely Joe's movie.